What's going on, fight fans and full-time family? Khabib, the Eagle, Nurmagomedov, the Bear Wrestler, says he's under lockdown in Russia and UFC 249 may go ahead with or without me. What the Whoa! Guys, no. The fifth time. This fight is cursed. Oh, this is not April Fool's. Check your calendars. It's March 30th. It's my birthday. This is not the news I wanted to bring you today. I would have much rather told you that Tony Ferguson caught the coronavirus on April 1st and been joking. But Khabib Nurmagomedov is locked down in Russia, and it looks like the UFC is not going to be able to get him to the fight. And it's crazy how this played out, guys. Khabib Nurmagomedov explains how this played out, and check this out, man. He said, "We were training in America at American Kickboxing Academy without any information regarding the fight, where and how it's going to happen. Then the UFC told us that the fight 100% is not happening in the United States, and they said 99% is going to happen in Abu Dhabi. After talking to the UFC, we flew to Abu Dhabi months before the fight. I don't remember the exact date. Not months. It was like March 19th or 20th. So, well, I guess that is a month before the fight, but about 2 weeks from now. So they flew over to Abu Dhabi when they learned the fight was supposed to be happening in Abu Dhabi. But when they landed in Abu Dhabi, they learned that the borders were going to be closed and no one would be able to leave or fly in with the exception of residents. So they had to leave Abu Dhabi. So we had to fly back to Russia because they already said it's not happening in the States. Now we're finding out it's not happening in Abu Dhabi. So we fly to Russia. I'm currently in Dagestan and training every day, but we find out when we get to Russia, these borders are going to be locked. Same like in Europe, same like in Abu Dhabi, same like in America. The whole world is quarantined right now. So that is, check out what just happened. So he was in America. He was here. The UFC says it's not going to happen there. Go to Abu Dhabi. He goes to Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's under lockdown. Goes to Russia. They lock him down in Russia. Now the fight's going to happen in America where he already was. I don't know how the UFC plans on having a UFC pay-per-view in America at this point. It's going to be tough with all of these sanctions and the whole quarantine. The UFC's trying, and we've got some possible replacements for Khabib Nurmagomedov, but the point is this fight is fucking cursed. This is the fifth time, if you're keeping track, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson was scheduled to happen, and the fifth time it was likely going to be canceled. 3 times it has been on Khabib, 2 times it has been on Tony Ferguson. And I don't even know if you can put this one on Khabib because it's literally a pandemic. The whole world is quarantined. I don't know if this is Khabib's fault. He's healthy. He's training. I can't put this on Khabib. I joked in my last video. The coronavirus, COVID-19, came from the MMA gods. And I don't want to say they're protecting Khabib because Khabib Nurmagomedov likely would win if he fought Tony Ferguson. I think a lot of people would pick Khabib to win. He's dominant. It's hard to pick him to lose. Although Tony Ferguson presents challenges Khabib has never seen. And that's what part of what makes the matchup so appealing. Who's going to attack off their back like Tony Ferguson? Who's got the will, the submissions, who's got what Tony Ferguson brings? Matchup of the ages, but it's cursed. So unfortunately, it looks like this fight between Ferguson and Khabib will not be going down April 18th, but there are a number of fighters that are in America that are willing to step up. And we're going to talk about some of those possibilities, fighters that have threw their name in the cookie jar. But first, Tony Ferguson is calling out Khabib. He said, Team Khabib, you're in hiding. You're hiding in Russia. Travel bans will not prevent me from whooping that ass. Don't use it as an excuse to back out. You have been sent many locations. Send us one. Steal my bitch. Defender vacate. God, I want to see this fucking fight. Damn, man. Tony Ferguson, El Kukui, what is it gonna take? Fuck it, you know what I really want to see? If he's not gonna get the shot at Khabib, we need to see Tony Ferguson versus Jorge Masvidal for the BMF belt, because Tony Ferguson has earned his fucking title shot at the BMF belt. That's what I want to see. And hopefully we can get that, because I told you we're going to talk about a few people who have offered to put their name in the hat to face Tony Ferguson, and our boy Gamebred, the BMF, the baddest motherfucking champion. Jorge Masvidal has volunteered his services, fresh off of defeating John Jones with his Jose Recuerdo. Fresh off of defeating Nate Diaz. Let's go! Man, this is the only fight that I will say, alright, if they were to replace Khabib with Jorge Masvidal versus Tony Ferguson is the one. That's it, Chief. This is it, Chief. Masvidal, Ferguson, the question is, would Ferguson want to go up to 170? I don't know if Masvidal is going to be able to make 155, especially on this short notice. He could probably make it, given a full camp. But on this short notice, that would be hard. Tony Ferguson's already in training camp. He's probably looking to fight at 155. So that might be the only thing that could hold this fight up, is if Ferguson don't want to go up to 170. But this is the fight I want to see. Make it 165. Make it for the end. Okay, we don't got to bring in a whole new division with the whole Roner going around. But I want to see this fight. Masvidal versus Ferguson. That's it. Defending the BMF belt. But also, aside from Masvidal, Dustin Poirier offers to face Tony Ferguson on short notice. I'm not sure if he would be able to make 155 pounds on this short notice, or if he would be having to fight at 170. But he is a guy that is a former lightweight. It probably would be and former featherweight, honestly. It'd probably be a little easier for Dustin Poirier to make this 155-pound limit. But there's another person that's probably the most likely. Justin Gaethje has been in talks of fighting Conor McGregor. There's been a lot of talks of those fights over the past couple of weeks. And with Khabib possibly pulling out, Justin Gaethje is tapped as a possible replacement to face Tony Ferguson. And that's a really good fight as well. We haven't seen Justin Gaethje in a while, which is good. His eggs have been scrambled. He definitely needs to let his yolks heal up, if you know what I'm saying, a little bit. And so Justin Gaethje's been taking a little bit of time off. And this would be a huge fight for him to come back to. He's talked about retiring if he doesn't get a title shot. He's got plenty of money. He's paid his dues in just his little bit of time. I mean, he's put on some huge fights and some wars, and he's been the proponent in a lot of those. He's the guy that brings the war to his opponents. He brings the best out of his opponents, whether it's Eddie Alvarez, whether it's Justin Gaethje. I mean, whether it's Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, it doesn't matter, man. Justin Gaethje is that guy. He's always the right answer when it comes to a big lightweight fight. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's McGregor. It doesn't matter if it's Khabib. It doesn't matter if it's Ferguson. It doesn't matter if Masvidal. Justin Gaethje's the answer. So that's another great fight that could happen. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje would be a banger. That's another one. It's up there with Masvidal, and Gaethje's actually a lightweight. So if he can make weight in time, that might be the option. That might be the best option for the UFC, is Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. So we could see Gaethje. We could see Masvidal, we could see Poirier, and if all of those fail, even Colby Covington and Tyron Woodley have offered to step up on April 18th and save UFC 249. All of these are excellent options. This is a fight we've got to see right here. Covington versus Woodley was supposed to happen. It never took place, but these guys had a fight built. I mean, former teammates hated each other. They had so many different reasons and different animosity built up. Like, I mean, Colby Covington, of course, the Trump, the MAGA guy, Tyron Woodley, coming from Ferguson, Missouri, on top of them being former teammates and training partners. I mean, these guys were going to go at it, but Tyron Woodley ended up losing his belt to Kamaru Usman. Colby Covington has now lost the fight to Kamaru Usman, but that does not mean these guys do not still need to fight. These guys could fight, and it would set up a great #1 contender for who's going to fight Kamaru Usman next. I mean, is Covington going to get another shot? I believe he deserves it. I think a lot of people would agree with that. It was a good fight. I mean, it's definitely a fight we would like to see again. Usman won it, for sure. I definitely think this could be a good #1 contender fight. But I don't know if it would serve as a good main event to replace Khabib versus Ferguson. But either way, it's a fight we need to see. So, hopefully, I mean, we're talking about who could possibly step in for Khabib. I'm wondering if UFC 249's not just in jeopardy, let alone the main event. There's all sort of fighters on that card. All sort of fighters probably in quarantine right now. The UFC's got great medical services. They do testing. I'm sure that they have been. I've seen articles of them trying to go to every extent to keep these fight cards going. They've been testing fighters for the coronavirus. A lot of fighters have been popping up negative, and so the UFC's trying to keep these fights on. And I gotta applaud the UFC for that, man, because that would be such a breath of fresh air, a relief, right? We haven't seen, the whole world is out of order right now. Give us something live to all tune in and watch. That would be awesome if they were able to pull that off, but it's gonna be hard. But with that being said, man, it is what it is. That's it for this video. Khabib Nurmagomedov likely out of the main event at UFC 249. There's numerous options for the replacements for the main event. Hopefully the UFC can just keep a card intact. And with that being said, let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.